In this lesson we will look at rationalizing the denominator. So if we are given this value, especially if we end our answer, we have a sum and our answer ends up to look like this, and particularly where the square root is in the denominator, then we have to rationalize the denominator, meaning that we can't end off with a square root in the denominator. And how we're going to do that is basically we're just going to multiply it with a constant top and bottom, because if you multiply it with the same constant top and bottom, you don't change the value of the answer. So what we are going to multiply it is also square root of 3. So I'm going to multiply it with square root of 3 over square root of 3. Okay, so then I'm just going to simplify. So this is 5 square root of 3 over, then this is just 3, because if I have the square root of x multiplied the square root of x, the answer is just x for any value of x. Okay, now what happens when we have two terms in the denominator? We're simply going to multiply it also with this, but now we're just going to change the sign. We're just going to write it as square root of 3 minus 1 over square root of 3 minus 1. And you'll see what happens now when we multiply it out. First of all, we can now just simplify the numerators. That's just square root of 3 minus 1. And then in the denominator, we can FOIL it out, but it's just easier. We can see that it's identical brackets, and the only difference is the plus and minus. So I can apply difference of squares. So I'm going to square the first term, which is just 3, minus square the second term, which is just 1. Okay, and then our final answer will just be square root of 3 minus 1 over 2. Last example. Now here we just have two square roots, but that doesn't change it. We're just going to multiply it with exactly the same, except just change the sign between the two terms. So I'm going to say multiply by square root of 5 minus square root of 3. 5 minus square root of 3. Okay, and then we could put it in brackets. Then this is just 10 square root of 5 minus square root of 3. I am going to multiply the 10 in to simplify it further, although I'm first going to simplify the denominator just to see what comes out, so that perhaps I can cancel the 2. So this is again difference of squares, so square the first one, which is 5, minus square the second one, which is 3. Okay, and then we get 10 square root of 5 minus square root of 3 over 2, and they can cancel, so the 2 goes into itself once and into 10 5 times. Then I can multiply in the 5, and then I'm done. So that's just 5 square root of 5 minus 5 square root of 3.